Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Victor of Cars Jubilee. Today we're back in my Ioniq 5, but I've got a pretty interesting one for you. As you may or may not know, we recently had a Tesla Model Y. It was a dual motor long range for about a week, and I had the opportunity to daily drive it back and forth from work. And during that time, I was really watching the range and the efficiency of that car, because I've always expected the Model Y to be far and away the more efficient vehicle. And what I realized was, for my drive into work, my Ioniq 5 is actually by far the more efficient vehicle. Now, in terms of specs, I have in 2022 Ioniq 5. It's an all-wheel drive model, limited trim, so that means I'm running the 20-inch wheels. Now, the Tesla was also a 22 model. It was the dual motor long range, also running 20-inch wheels. So let me explain what I mean by I was getting better efficiency numbers with the Ioniq 5. Now, I've been daily driving this car for about 6 months, and at least during similar weather conditions, meaning hot, summer, running air conditioning, I typically see anywhere from high 5s to even low 6s in terms of miles per kilowatt. And overall, that's really good numbers. Now, with the Model Y, during that week, we saw a range of mid to low 4s for the most part, until the very last day I finally saw 5.3, and that was the best that I could get. And honestly, that's a pretty drastic drop-off. From mid to low 4s with the Model Y, all the way up to high 5s, even 6s in my Ioniq 5. On paper, it doesn't make any sense. If you look at the MPGe rating, you look at the EPA rating, the Model Y is supposed to be by far the more efficient vehicle. So what's going on? In fact, the Model Y has a lower coefficient of drag, and the weights of these two cars are about the same. So again, what's going on? Well, I think there's one factor at play, and that's something special that the Ioniq 5 and its siblings, the Kia EV6 and the Genesis GV60, they have a special feature that allows them to disengage the front motor. And Teslas in general, to my knowledge, do not have that capability. Now, Tesla owners, feel free to fact check me and let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. But based on the research that I did, I couldn't find anything about it. To my knowledge, Teslas cannot disengage one of the motors for the sake of efficiency. Meaning they're always running in all-wheel drive if you have a dual motor configuration. Now, what you should be seeing is a clip of my daily commute, and it ranges from moderate to even heavy traffic, meaning full stop and go. And in these conditions, the Ioniq 5 has been the more efficient vehicle. Now, I did do a quick highway range test just to confirm, and like I had guessed, the Model Y was by far the more efficient vehicle. So that makes sense. That follows what the EPA and the MPGe ratings suggest, that the Model Y should be more efficient on the highway. Now, hold the phone. Don't go running off and telling everyone that the Ioniq 5 is going to be more efficient than the Model Y, because as an overall blanket statement, that's just not going to be true. However, if you do the majority or maybe even all of your driving in moderate to heavy traffic in or around a big city, then you might actually find the Ioniq 5 overall to be the more efficient vehicle. In fact, I recently had the opportunity to talk to some owners who have had both an Ioniq 5 and a Model Y, or even a Model 3, and something that they said that really surprised me was, yeah, I've actually been getting better efficiency, or at least similar efficiency, in my Ioniq 5 as I have with the Model Y and the Model 3. And that just kind of blew my mind because, again, the MPGE, EPA ratings suggest the opposite. But to hear firsthand from actual owners saying, no, the Ioniq 5 is in many cases as good, if not even better, than a Model Y or a Model 3, that's pretty shocking. Now, I do want to add a few final thoughts because I think this is very important. For the average user of an Ioniq 5 or an EV6 or a GV60, you may not get these kinds of results. And let me explain why. Number one, if you do actual mixed driving, that means you do a lot of highway driving at normal highway speeds. Well, if you do that, that's going to wipe out all the efficiency bonuses you would get with the Ioniq 5, because the Model Y in general on the highway is far more efficient at normal speeds. Then there is the fact that maybe the average user here wouldn't actually know how to disengage the front motor. That means people who drive an Ioniq 5 or an EV6 or a GV60 but like to drive an I-pedal, which is the one-pedal drive mode. If you drive in one-pedal drive mode all day, every day, all the time, then you're actually not taking advantage of the ability to run in rear-wheel drive if you have an all-wheel drive model. Also, some drivers only drive in sport mode. Well, same thing. You're not allowing the car to drive in rear-wheel drive. Then there's also the type of driver that doesn't like regen braking, so that they would actually drive in level 0 where regen braking is basically off. In those use cases, that driver is not going to get good efficiency numbers because they're not taking advantage of this car's ability to run in rear-wheel drive mode. So if you're the average user, honestly, a Tesla is probably going to be the more efficient vehicle for you if that's what you want. So anyways, I just really wanted to share that because anytime we think of efficiency and range, Teslas are always at the top. And it was shocking to find a scenario that's repeatable, and in my case, is a daily driving scenario where the Ioniq 5 is maybe actually at the top. And for me, as an Ioniq 5 owner, I think that's pretty cool. So anyways, I'd love to hear from all of you guys in the comment section below. Maybe you've had experience with a Tesla, or you've owned a Tesla, and you've also owned a GV60 or an EV6 or Ioniq 5, and maybe you can corroborate what I'm saying, or maybe you've seen the opposite. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.